I would say genuinely, I'm quite lucky to be a Manchester United fan. I've experienced some fantastic moments. The 2008 Champions League final is the one that sticks into my head, the time I fell in love with football. I was born the year we won the treble, and that will forever be the reason I'm a Manchester United fan. But today, we sit here and things haven't gone well. The last 10 years since Fergie retired, it's been an up and down. It's been zigzag. It's been 8th to 4th to 6th to 2nd to 8th to 3rd. And it's a real turmoil at the club. The club's been run by pretty much bankers. Not the other word that you could easily say for that, beginning with a W and ending in anchors as well. And it's been up and down, and, you know, I've had people in charge that have got no idea about football, but it's looking like that is about to change. While the Glazers are staying at the club, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has purchased 25% of the club, and I've made a database on FM with that change coming into play. We've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe as the sort of the owners with the Glazers. We've got Alex Ferguson as director, as is rumoured to happen, alongside Paul Mitchell coming in to help out with the sort of important things at the club in terms of football, which is going to be very, very helpful, because that is what is needed at United right now, a complete and utter reset. We've got rid of Ten Hag, Kempi is in charge, and we're going to be locking in Wonder Kids for this sim as well. So welcome into the team, Kobe Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. More on them in just a few minutes, but we're going to be simulating 5 years, seeing if we can get United back to the top of not only English football, but world football. It can happen, it just needs a rip up from top to bottom, and that today is going to be the plan. And while Ten Hag is no longer the manager and no longer involved in the club in this alternate universe, we are keeping a Ten Hag style based system, a 4-3-3, which I think is going to work absolute wonders. And you can see 2 players locked into the team, and they're going to be locked into the team for the whole of this 5 years. Welcome the new star at Manchester United, Kobe Mainoo. Now, this guy on FM, if you do not lock him in position, he does not grow very well. But trust me, by the end of this 5 years, we are going to look at his progress sheet, and he's going to be one of the best central defensive midfielders in the world, not even just in the Premier League. So wait until we see how good King Kobe Mainoo turns out in the end. We need to not, go too high on this guy to start things off. He has been so good and so composed in the end, the few games he has played there, that we're going to have to lock him in for this season, because I want to see how good he can progress. And obviously the wonder, Alejandro Garnacho, scored the best goal I've ever seen, right? This guy, incredible. The overhead kick, the technique on that goal, and, in this hostile environment that it was away against Everton after their 10-point deduction, Garnacho silenced him in 3 minutes of one of the most outrageous goals you will ever see. So Alejandro Garnacho is also going to be locked in at right wing, and he is going to be absolutely fantastic as well. I mean, to kick things off, the pace, the dribbling, the flair, he suits United down to a T. And the thing that we love here at United as fans is wingers that attack players, and hopefully he can be that for us. And the one that's not going to quite be that, but be the one to hopefully score lots and lots of goals, is Marcus Rashford. Now, in real life, the form has hit pretty much an all-time low after that game against Newcastle, and that is when I decided to do this rebuild, because I've had enough, to be honest. I've had completely and utterly enough. There's not enough passion, there's not enough tracking, there's not enough running, and some of that comes from this guy, Marcus Rashford. Very poor this season, but we have to remember who he is and how well he was, or how good he was last season for us, and what he could do. So Marcus Rashford, of course, is going to be, again, one of the faces of this rebuild. We've obviously got King Rasmus Højlund up front as well, and again, I'm going to be expecting this guy to score lots and lots of goals over the 5 years. He is a fantastic, fantastic player. Mason Mount, I think, can still certainly be something at Manchester United. We've just got to see a bit more, less injuries and more consistency, and he will be a fantastic player, as is Bruno Fernandes. I mean, this guy is never injured, which is one of the best things. Availability is one of the best abilities you can have, and Bruno Fernandes in central midfield for United as a roaming playmaker is going to be lights out good. Left back, Luke Shaw, speaks for itself. Right back is a position we are looking to upgrade next season. This first season, there'll be no transfers, but for now, Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dalot can share that role. And for me, I'm not dropping Rafael Varane. Varane has to play. He's so good, and that's one of the things that I'm losing my head with United at the moment, is we're not playing Rafael Varane. Casemiro is always injured, and it's just been, we've been unlucky with injuries, but it's also been just a catalogue of errors. Leacher back from injury as well at centre-back next to Varane, and in goal, of course, Andre Onana, and I do believe Onana can be that keeper that we've been crying out for. He is good enough. A shaky bit of form didn't hurt anybody. He will turn things around, and that is going to pretty much be our best starting 11 for this first season. We've, of course, got the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. I won't be surprised if we win nothing this season. We are locking in an 18-year-old in DM to play every single game, so Casemiro is going to be a backup and hopefully a good mentor for him. We're going to see if he gets angry or wants to leave. I wouldn't be that angry because I can see it happening in real life as well. There's obviously links to Saudi with Casemiro, so we might see him go already. Garnacho, right wing, as well, has to play. I'm not going to be playing Sancho because regardless of what you think about the Ten Hag and Sanchez situation, the attitude stinks. He's gone for me, so I'm not having him. Anthony, he's probably going to leave quite soon as well. Not good enough, failed signing. I'm not a Ten Hag. I can get rid of him. So Anthony will also be leaving, hopefully at the end of the season. Maguire, again, a return in form recently, but he's not good enough to be a United player. So we're going to move on, but we're going to hopefully do that at the end of this first season, where maybe we can lift some trophies, but by minimum, top 4 football has to be the priority for season number 1. Well, I tell you what, we nearly actually had an unbelievable season. We got to the Champions League final, which I didn't expect at all. Sadly, we lost to Manchester City, but it won't matter because in a few years they're going to be gone. All right, we'll ignore Manchester City. We took them all the way to extra time where De Bruyne and Haaland decided to score. Haaland also missed a penalty, but I'm guessing scored the rebound. But Champions League final, I would take right now. We are sitting bottom of our Champions League group in real life, and we managed to not do that in this, which is great. Seeing City win back-to-back, it stings a lot, and they've obviously won the Premier League as well and won 101 points. The Centurion for only the second time. We have had a fantastic season, though. 91 points. And on a different season, that's enough to win the league. 91 points is fantastic. 28 wins, 7 draws, and 3 losses. A 54 goal difference. And this is a very, very good season. We've had no one in the top goal scorers list, which I really don't mind. Bruno Fernandes at the top of the assist charts is fantastic. Goals-wise, we were 94 goals. Third, 3 behind Liverpool. Conceded-wise, we shored things up at the back. Just over a goal a game with 40 goals conceded. Possession-wise, 55% of the ball. I'm not too fussed about that. Most shots on target, pass completion, 89% isn't great, but not too bad. Most shots for 593, one more than Manchester City. And it probably shows that having a striker that is guaranteed to score your goals like a Harry Kane, if we signed him this summer, would be massive for United because we are creating a lot of chances in real life. We've done the same here on FM, but Højlund being a little bit raw, shall we say. I'm a huge Højlund fan, but he's a little bit raw. Does miss some big chances. Probably was one of the reasons we didn't win the league this year. We could have done it. I mean, I say that. We wouldn't have gone to Centurion as well, but we could have been second and tighter to Manchester City and a 4th on fewer shots against as well. Data Hub looks fantastic for this first season. Lots of goals scored, not many goals conceded. And in terms of the players that stood out, first of all, we check on Kempi Mainoo, a 6.86 rating in DM for his first season. He's progressed a little bit. He's gone up in all of his stats, pretty much all +1, which is good to see. There's a lot of greys in there, a few blues in there, and for the DM position we're playing him in, he's fantastic. Great first touch, passing and technique, and that is what we're looking for him to do. Get on the ball and spread the passes and be composed. 15 composure, yeah, that's a good little rating for him. 6 goals and 5 assists as well, and again, is the player we are concentrating on for this rebuild, as well as Alejandro Garnacho, who had a ridiculous season. 21 goals, 11 assists in 50 appearances, starting as a right winger for Manchester United. And remember, that is a winger role on attack as well. He's not even as an inside forward, and he has absolutely smashed it. 16 dribbling, 15 first touch, 11 long shots, unbelievable pace, great flair, and a fantastic season for Alejandro Garnacho. £150 million value, about right to be fair, and 17 goals and 57 games for United to kick off his career is quite an impressive start. Rasmus Højlund, 25 goals and 9 assists in 37 starts, again is a very good first season for the 21-year-old Danish striker. And that's another thing I'd like to say about Manchester United. There is a lot of potential here at the club. We've got a few players like Casemiro and Varane who we should have really gone for a big summer last summer and gone with experience. You know, gone and got Harry Kane, and maybe Rasmus was next summer's job when Harry Kane, Casemiro, Varane have him for one season and then move into a younger period of things. But we didn't do that, and what I would say is there is an exciting future at Manchester United. It just needs to be harnessed correctly, and I don't know if that's under Ten Hag anymore. I am losing faith rapidly. In terms of the rest of our players who played really, really well, Marcus Rashford, 17 goals and 17 assists. Had a very good season this season as well. Bruno Fernandes, 16 goals, 25 assists. Luke Shaw on the left without his injury problems, 4 goals and 10 assists. Mason Mount, 9 goals, 9 assists as a box-to-box midfielder. Next to Bruno Fernandes, a fantastic season. Wan-Bissaka was very good, above a 7, and Martial, when he played as well, was actually very, very good. He's not going to be staying around because I don't believe he's good enough, but a good season for him. Varane was very good this season as well. Next to Alessandro Martinez, above a 6.9 is good. Casemiro, 4 starts, 31 off the bench, 5 goals, 1 assist, is not angry at his game time, which is fantastic. It means we can keep Casemiro mentoring Kempi Mainoo, which is the absolute dream for us here, because if we can progress Kempi under case and he can keep that ball playing ability, That is the dream. We've got lots of money here at United, 88 million to go and spend, £140,000 in wage budget. And in terms of finances, we know the finances here at Manchester United aren't good. I didn't clear any debts with Sir Jim coming in because that's not what he's coming in to do. I didn't give us loads of money. I think I gave us an extra £100 million in the bank. And the goal of that was to, try and regen the stadium. They rejected every single advance I did for that, which is great. I've asked for it again. They're going to reject it again. Trust me, I know it. It's very annoying. I would like to hopefully expand the stadium / regenerate it, but it doesn't quite work like that, which is very, very frustrating. Ferguson's retired, which again is to be expected. He's an old lad and an absolute king at that as well. We're going to go into season 2, make some signings, improve this team, and take us from, third place in the Premier League, runners up in the Champions League, to hopefully a much better team. To touch on the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, both rubbish. Ignore them. We won't talk about a third round defeat to Liverpool and a third round defeat to West Ham. We'll leave it there. Season 2, what signings can we make? And of course, this save is available for you guys on Patreon as well. A massive thank you to the legends on screen. The last week has been mental with views and mental with Patreon signups as well. So if you want to go ahead and get this rebuild file, which is what you get on Patreon, that you can do it over there, and you can join this list of legends that you get your name on the screen in every single video as well. So a massive thank you to you absolute heroes. You guys literally help me level up the content, getting better microphones, having stuff like Adobe Premiere Pro. It's not cheap, but because of the money that I managed to get on Patreon through your guys' support, we can keep these rebuilds at the quality they are and keep pumping out videos. So a massive thank you to you absolute legends. If you want the rebuild file, the link is down in the description, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the next season. Well, I mentioned an upgrade in right back was going to be likely, and Diego Dalot has left the club for £23 million to head to Crystal Palace. Not a bad sale in my opinion at all. A very good player, but not quite the Man United level, and I think Dalot is right on the edge, but is not quite going to make it. So off to Palace he goes, and a replacement for him is also from the Premier League. £67 million on young Scottish right back Nathan Patterson. I think this guy has all the qualities to be one of the best right backs in the world going forward. 21 years of age in real life. He's 22 here at Manchester United in his second season. Currently a good Premier League player, could improve a lot. Consistent, loves a big match, and a solid right back. Very expensive, but that is due to him being Scottish / homegrown at club, or homegrown in the league. So of course it's going to be a little bit expensive. Jean-Claire Todibo is a very heavily linked centre back in real life to sign for Manchester United. So we've gone ahead and done that as well. £60 million. Great heading, marking and tackling. Great determination, great pace, and trying to keep things a little bit realistic. It was expensive, again, £60 million, but for a centre back of this quality, that is what you've got to pay for sometimes. So that is what we've done, and again, extremely consistent and loves big matches. And like you said, they are some of the most important things, especially here at Manchester United, where playing big matches is what we do. Kefren Turam is my next signing to be a rotation option with Mason Mount in midfield. He is fantastic. Again, very, very expensive, £60 million, both going to OGC Nice, where Jim Ratcliffe owns the club. Maybe a little bit of a bookkeeping we could do, but we don't want no charges like Man City, so I take that back. We'll do it all legit. Thank you very much. Thuram looks very, very good, and again, a great rotation option. £145 million in value at a 23-year-old French central midfielder who looks absolutely fantastic. So welcome, Kefren Thuram. Andrea Belotti is the striker I brought in to back up Rasmus Højlund. Now, this is a very shrewd piece of business, in my opinion. A striker we know who can score goals. He's done it across his whole career. 100 goals at Torino, £11 million here at Manchester United, scoring a goal every 3 games at Roma, probably as a backup to Tammy Abraham. Is a fantastic signing, an absolute bargain. Consistent, loves big matches, scores goals for fun, and is a bit of business, which I'm very, very proud of, actually. One that I wouldn't normally do, but we've done this time. And then a young winger to sort of back up a man like Garnacho, because we're not going to be replacing him. So Martin Sociek has come in, a Croatian winger from NK Lokomotivia, who I don't know who they are. I don't know who this kid is, but his potential's decent. He's got a decent enough current ability as well if he needs to play. Very quick, great determination, great finishing, great off the ball, great work rate, already a big value, and looks very, very good. So welcome, Big Martin. There's been some outgoings as well to be expected. That is all for incomings. Varane has left to Al Nassr for £28 million. Sancho has gone to Dortmund for £21 million, and Anthony has gone to Leipzig for £18 million. And that's because of the wages. The wages are ridiculous at Manchester United, so you have to take a much lower transfer fee than expected. So all 3 of them out the door, £70 million. Martial out on loan to Brest as well for £3 million. It's a rough day being a United fan sometimes, seeing them lot go for £70 million, knowing we spent £80 million on Anthony, £80 million on Sancho, and 40 on Varane is quite some loss, but it is what it is. We also end up selling Christian Eriksen for £10 million, loaning out Hannibal, loaning out Isaac Cantona, loaning out Amad Diallo, loaning Reece Bennett, loaning Collier, and loaning Dermot Mead. If we look at the team as well, Andre Onana in goal, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Todibo, Martinez, Luke Shaw, Mainu, Bruno, Mount, Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund. A very strong team. And then with the backups, we've got players like Bayindir, Lindelof, Thuram, Belotti, Maguire, McTominay, Pellistri, Malacia, Casemiro, Socciek, Nathan Patterson, Dan Gore, Tom Heaton, Will Fish, Amari Forson. Patterson is probably going to start right back more than Wan-Bissaka, but that midfield, very strong with a youngster in DM. Very, very exciting. The front three, young, exciting, attacking. Hopefully, this team is going to be good enough to take us further in the competitions this year. A better showing in the Cups would be great. A final in the Champions League again would be fantastic, and maybe even lifting the trophy and stopping the utter demolition of Man City at the moment. 4 in a row. It hurts. Let's go into it. Can we stop the City domination? And we're going to see our first trophy come to Manchester in the FA Cup final. It's good to finally win one of these again. And Nkunku into Lukaku makes it 1-0 to Chelsea. But we're going to very quickly show them who's boss. Garnacho down the right-hand side finds Wan-Bissaka, back to Bruno, into Garnacho. And look how good he is. He progresses so well on this year's FM. Wan-Bissaka to Garnacho again down this right-hand side, being an absolute menace. Finds Højlund as that deep line forward, in behind the inside forward and attacking Rashford. Højlund dropping into that gap and playing that pass is fantastic to see, and we were brilliant in this game. A dominating performance. Looking at the stats, we were massively on top. More XG, less possession, but much more opportunities for us, which is great to see. The final result is what matters, especially in a cup final, and a 2-1 victory is exactly what we went ahead and got, which is brilliant to see. In terms of the rest of the competitions, 3rd in the league was last season, 4th in the league is this season. 91 points, wouldn't have done it again. City winning the league by 1 point against Arsenal, even though they won 8-0 on the final day against Leicester. We managed to draw 1-0 against City, but it wasn't enough, and Arsenal just about lose the title by 1 point. We got 73 points, a 61 goal difference is outrageous. We'll go through that in just a second, but 5 in a row for Man City. I'm starting to think it's not possible to stop them. They are very good. Champions League ran a 16th by PSG, and Carabao Cup 4th rounded by Chelsea. Obviously, we gave them the beat down in the FA Cup final to show them who is boss. Now, in terms of stats, 113 goals this season is ridiculous. 52 conceded, way too much. That is our issue. Scoring lots of goals, conceding a few too many. Nowhere near on possession, nowhere near on passes. Most shots for, again, is us. That's exciting to see as a United fan. Being a team that's progressive and aggressive and scoring lots of goals is exactly what I want to see. 34 goals and 24 assists is a stupidly good season for Marcus Rashford. 31 and 12 for Rasmus Højlund. 22 and 11 again from Garnacho. 20 and 21 from Bruno Fernandes. And a backup striker who's not going to kick his toys out the pram in Andrea Belotti with 12 goals and 3 assists in 36 games, 30 of them coming off the bench. Kefren Thuram, 9 goals and 7 assists, and Mason Mount with 9 goals and 9 assists, both rotating in that box-to-box midfield role is beautiful to see. Great performance this season from Todibo as well. Casemiro in the games he played was brilliant, played a lot of starts this season, a lot off the bench as well. Pellistri off the bench was okay. Luke Shaw with 10 assists again this season is great, and Kobbie Mainoo, 2 goals, 9 assists, 57 games, starting to progress really well now as Kobbie is now a good Premier League midfielder. 77 games under his belt. Another season at around a 6.8 isn't too bad, being 20 years old. He's not developing quite as quickly as I'd like him to, but like I said at the start, getting 5 years down the line, this guy is an absolute king. So we'll have to wait and see how well he progresses. It's time for a new contract for him as well. So we'll see what we can do in terms of the contract. Nathan Patterson was a bit more of a rotation over Wan-Bissaka, which is intriguing to see. Wan-Bissaka keeping his spot. He's actually progressed quite well as well as an attacking right back. So we'll see if he does keep that number 1 spot or if it goes to Nathan Patterson. In the development centre, the loanees are doing okay. We've not got anyone really standing out. I mean, Radek Vitek is a decent backup goalkeeper potentially. Hansen Aaron's a backup midfielder, could be good. Hannibal probably going to be out of the door soon, doing okay at Watford, but that's probably his level, let's be honest. Top Championship. Amad again, maybe at the moment we're starting to see why Amad is not going to stay around at the club. Reece Bennett, Toby Collier, Martial and Dermot Mee again, not good enough, all going to be heading out of the door. Another £80 million to spend, another £400,000 in wage budget. Definitely some outgoings this season as well, though. There's a lot of things to do in terms of the club. We need to get rid of some deadwood. We need to to now progress to that next level, bringing in some younger players rather than Maguire and Lindelof at the back, maybe some brand new young centre-backs. Let's see what we can do, though, start of Season 3. Well, as I've mentioned, we are close to being a very, very top side. There's a lot of young players that just need to progress to the next level. We're going to sign a centre-back who's already progressed to that next young level. Jorginho Scalvini is going to come in and be the third centre-back, maybe even the starting centre-back with Lisandro Martinez, Todibo and Scalvini. That is a fantastic trio of defenders. 21 years of age. He has progressed so well. He was expensive, but he is our only standout signing of this summer. We've got another player coming in who's going to be more of a rotation option, but Scalvini for £70 million, improving that defence after conceding 52 goals last season was my main priority, and he is ridiculously good. And we're going to see Scalvini, a Manchester United centre-back, absolute boss. Yoro Hato is the other player we have signed. Can play centre-back, but mainly brought in to be a backup at left-back to Luke Shaw. Malacia hasn't developed quite as well. Hato, a young Dutch left-back, very similar to when we signed Malacia, £22 million, a little bit more expensive, 10 million more, but can certainly be a very good option for us here at United, a value of £70 million, and hopefully can do absolute wonders for us. Again, outgoings-wise, there was nothing too outrageous. Maguire left for £4 million to Spurs after 2 seasons of doing nothing, and players also leaving. Forsterna's left on £400,000, a few players going on free contracts as well, and again, the squad locked in like this. In goal, Onana, Patterson, Todibo, Scalvini, Shaw, Mainu in DM, Mount, Fernandes, Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund. A very, very strong side. The 4-3-3 is going to stay cooking for us. Bayindir, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, Hato, Casemiro, Hansen Aaron, Thuram, Amad Diallo, Sochiek and Balotelli. Balotelli? Crikey, I hope not. Belotti as our backup striker. And again, we're in the Community Shield this year. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. We need more trophies. Just one FA Cup is not enough to satisfy the needs for us Manchester United fans. We need more. We need to stop the City domination. 5 years in a row now. We need to end it. Season number 3. It's actually never going to end. Another Centurion season. 6 titles in a row for Manchester City. It's impossible to stop them. They've now got Florian Wirtz in the team as well, one of the best young midfielders in the world in real life. What a replacement for De Bruyne that is. 100 points, 79 goal difference, 4 losses, 1 draw, 33 wins. We need them to have them charges put against them. 22 wins, 8 draws, 8 losses for us. Again, though, top 4. That is now 3 seasons in a row of securing Champions League football, which is good because that has been one of the biggest issues in real life recently. Goal scored just 79 this season, but we certainly shored the defence up with 45, 7 fewer goals conceded, and a decent enough season here for us. I'm quite happy with how we've done. Højlund had his sort of breakout year, 42 goals, 13 assists. Rashford, 22 and 18. 16 and 18 from Bruno Fernandes. 68 games for him as well. And it's because other competitions went quite well. 12 games, 27 off the bench for Belotti as well with 11 goals. 10 goals, 11 assists. 11 goals, 10 assists for Mason Mount is great. Garnacho, enough. 10 goals, 9 assists, maybe a bit more of a, settling in season. Now he's 21 years of age, a lot of football for him. He has progressed very, very well, let's be honest. He is still going to be a superstar for us, but Garnacho, one to keep an eye on. A little bit of an off season for him with just 10 goals. Thuram, 6 goals, 9 assists, 68 games again for Kobbie Mainoo. And like I said about Bruno Fernandes, availability is sometimes the best ability, and he probably is better suited to that box-to-box midfielder role next to him. But as is DM, is where I see him progressing in real life because of that unbelievable composure, great first touch, great pass. And again, we'll just take a quick look at how his stats have progressed already. Just a very, very quick one. All-time, 18 composure as a +2. Free kick taken's gone down because he's not taking them, but +2 passing, +1 first touch, +1 dribbling. Great sort of physical attributes as well. 3 off the ball work, 3 leadership, 1 flair, 3 vision. He's progressing into one of the best midfielders in the world, and he's only 20 years of age still, one to remember. Nathan Patterson unlocked in a right back as well. Yeah, 18 assists. Again, fantastic. Lock him in. He's fantastic. He does very, very well on this game with the right role. Over a 7 average rating, 24 years of age, Scottish right back. Suits us down to the ground, I think. I'm very, very happy with that player to come in. Luke Shaw, 54 starts, 2 goals and 9 assists as well. Very, very good. Casemiro still happy to be at the club. He's wanted now by Saudi, so it might be time to say goodbye. He's 34 years of age, 15 starts, 43 to the bench, 4 goals, 3 assists. Very, very happy with Casemiro. But that's not all the only thing we have to go through, because the Champions League this season, we come runners up, in the first season. This season we're winners, and it's Andrea Belotti lifting us another Champions League, the 4th one. And like I said at the start, I remember the 2008 final. obviously. I was 9 years old when that happened, and it's one of my first real memories of being a massive football fan. And it's great to bring a Champions League back to Old Trafford as well. And Belotti to score it, of all players. 16th minute, he started this game over Rasmus Højlund. He must have been injured. Rashford, Fernandes, Mount, Thuram, Mainu. Looks like Fernandes played on the right, which is interesting. Shaw, Scalvini, Todibo, Patterson, and Onana. A fantastic victory. Lifting the Champions League as Manchester United is one of my favourite things to go ahead and do. And it's not the only trophy won as well, because the FA Cup, we retained back-to-back seasons. Penalties, Belotti scored again. I'm guessing Højlund was injured because he's not on the bench either. And at the penalty shootout, we went ahead and won. Bruno actually missed as well, but Casemiro, Højlund, Martinez, and Facundo Pellistri with a goal scored. Wolves having an absolute stinker, and it's another one that we have got ahead and won, which is awesome. And the Carabao Cup, we did very, very well in again, but sadly this time we were finaled by Manchester City. A 2-1 loss is a little bit gutting. Did Rasmus Højlund play in this one? He did. He actually did, which is good to see. But yeah, Asensio, Haaland. Player of the match was Bernardo Silva. Florian Wirtz is here. It's a ridiculous team. They're going to just go ahead and win everything for every single year we do this, I think. Season 5 might be where we win it if we ever get there, because City are dominating at the top of this, which is heartbreaking stuff to see. More money to spend, £38 million. I mean, it's actually not that much because we are very red in the balance. And debts-wise, it's the thing that kills Manchester United in real life as well. Having this massive debt, means we're paying ridiculous interest every single year. We needed someone to come in and own the club and completely clear that debt. And maybe at the end of this 5 years, that's what Jim Ratcliffe goes ahead and does. But for us right now, it's a bit of a pipe dream. It's not happening, which is heartbreak. We're going to have to go ahead into season 4, though, see if we can make more progression and see if we can somehow close down on Centurion in 3 seasons, Manchester City. It's going to be difficult, but season 4 might be our year. Let's see what signings we can make for just £38 million. More young players coming in, and just 2 signings this year, Asa Rodrigo and Nicolas Jimenez. And like I said, we're very close to being good enough to winning this league. It's just progressing some youngsters. So Asa Rodrigo, welcome to the club. £18 million. If you haven't seen the Schalke Rebuild re-release last week, this guy was an absolute king in midfield, and he's progressed into that again here. £18 million is an absolute bargain. Looks like a fantastic midfielder. And Nicolas Jimenez is the other player we signed. A regen centre-back, £6 million. Good enough to be a backup here at United. And again, bring in some youth. Hopefully, he's going to be good enough for us here at Manchester United. Sales-wise, there's not been too much going on. Not a lot's changing, to be honest. Dangor has been sold to West Brom, which is a little bit sad to see. Some loans going out and all that business. We've got a lot of players still looking to leave the club on this sort of final day here. But if we look at the squad, again, team is looking strong. Onana, Patterson, Scalvini, Martinez, Shaw, Mainu, Fernandes, Mount, Rashford, Garnacho. Højlund's now moved to a complete forward on attack. Bayendia, Wan-Bissaka, Jimenez, Todibo, Hato, Casemiro, Thuram, Rodrigo, Sociek, Diallo, Belotti, Malacia, Lindelof. Finley McAllister is now at the club as well. He's progressed really well in the youth academy. We'll see what we can get out of him. And Isaac Cantona is still here as well. With developing players, we just need to reach that next step. We've got the UEFA Super Cup this year as well, which we're against Everton. So never know. Maybe the six-tuple is inbound. Well, I can confirm no six-tuple. How about just a UEFA Super Cup? What a fall down from earth that was. After the FA Cup and Champions League last year, I really believed this could be our year, but it's not. City have done it again. 88 points. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. And before that, it was 2 in a row. That means it's 9 in the last 10 years for Manchester City. The whole point of this rebuild was to stop them. But when Haaland's scoring 43 goals in the Premier League in one season, it's just, it's impossible. He's too good, and City are too good, and we're just not there yet. Quarterfinal bye in the Champions League as well. They didn't even go on to win it, and an Evan Ferguson at Real Madrid went on to win it. I mean, what a universe we're living in. Super Cup we did win, which is great. 5-1 against Everton. Very, very happy. What a pony competition to win. 5th round by Wolves in the FA Cup. 4th round by City in the Carabao Cup. Runners up in the Community Shield by City as well. Heartbreaking stuff. It really is. In terms of goals and assists, Højlund scored 40 odd last season, just 24 this year. Rashford 28 and 14. Garnacho a much better year, 19 and 9. Fernandes 12 and 10, a big drop off. Rodrigo 11 and 5. Mount 9 and 16. Thuram 7 and 8. A fantastic midfield core we've got, and Mainu 6 goals and 8 assists as well. Again, we are now starting to see some real progression. 19 composure, 16 vision, 16 technique, 16 passing, 16 first touch, 16 dribbling, and 16 agility, and 16 decision making. And he's just got 5 determination, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, he is really, really progressing. We got 1 more year with locking in Mainu at DM. A decent season from TREBLE as a backup. Shaw with 14 assists as well. And Patterson last year with nearly 20 assists. 5. We just didn't have the production this year of we have had in recent years, which is absolute heartbreak. So we've got to go ahead and do another season, season 5. Maybe now we can do it. I don't know if it's possible, but maybe this season, after having no trophies this season and somehow not winning the league again, coming to second on 83 points. I mean, we've certainly stopped the zigzags we started talking about at the start. I mean, when you look at how we've done, it's a little bit better. We're stable. We're just not out of the Champions League anymore, which is great, but we also haven't added to the 20 Premier League titles. As well as the Champions League, we have got 1 more season to go, and I guarantee you lot on Patreon will do 100 times better than I will with this save, because apparently I'm not doing very well at all. Let's go forward though. 1 more year, 1 more summer of signings, £80 million to spend. Let's just break this City team down, and over the season we need to win the league. One thing I want to make clear as well is these rebuilds, the results might not look as good as it would do if you lot managed to go into the game and you started a Manchester United save and you started playing every single game and in-game tweaks, etc. The thing of these rebuilds is they are all simmed. They are completely simmed because, believe it or not, I don't have time in my life to play 15 games of FM off of anything else. So they are all simulated, as is every rebuild you see on Football Manager. So don't hate the comments about how we've performed in the last few years. I think it's not been that bad given how things are looking in real life right now. But it's time to look at our signings. And we needed someone to rotate with Højlund who's actually going to score goals. And the guy I think we should have signed in the summer. Welcome, Harry Kane. I mean, why not? Hey, he's gone over to Bayern Munich, absolutely smashed it, broke loads of records, scored loads of goals. £40 million, a cut price deal, a 33-year-old Harry Kane with, not the greatest pace, but the link-up play that he does bring, the ridiculous finishing, the great composure, determination, model citizen, a bagsman. Harry Kane, welcome to Manchester United. Of course, it's not our only signing because that would be very, very boring. We've also got ahead and signed Bilal Penier, who is a rotational winger and a complete and utter regen who looks very, very good. A young French right winger. And the other signing is also a regen. It's Sujijo Saito to be a Japanese left winger. Looks fantastic. Great pace, great dribbling, great determination, great passing and technique. Hopefully, he could be a great rotation option for us. And I fully believe that now with a, tactical genius up front in Harry Kane, someone who can score an outrageous amount of goals and rotate well with Rasmus Højlund, we could be on that next step. The team looks great. Onana, Patterson, Scalvini, Martinez, Shaw, Mainu, Fernandes, Mount, Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund. A very similar Manchester United-based team at the start. We've just believed in the young players that are currently here. And then sprinkled in some better, rotation options. Bayindir, Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Lindelof, Hato, Casemiro, Thuram and Wadrego is a great midfield. Bilal Penier, Saito, Harry Kane as a rotation to Højlund. Woods has come through the academy and looks like a very good young goalkeeper, as has D. Francis. Again, decent enough potential in him to be a fifth choice centre-back. Finlay McAllister progressed really well and actually looks like a very good rotation midfielder. And Springthorpe is another young player that's come through the academy and he looks pretty good, doesn't he? He could potentially be the next star here at Manchester United. So welcome, youngster Mr. Springthorpe with the academy. The rest of the development centre is okay. We've got Lirak Gordon here, who's a young attack midfielder. Great flair, great determination. Would be one of the best players you've ever seen come through a youth academy if it wasn't at Manchester United. Nicholas Jimenez is obviously still here as well, looking to go out on loan, and as is Martin Sociek. And this guy was an absolute bargain when we signed him, and I'd really recommend you guys to give this guy a chance. He looks very, very good, but I'm happy with the squad. We just need to try and win some trophies. We haven't won the sextuple. We haven't even won a treble. We've won the FA Cup and the Champions League, but no Premier League. And we surely can't allow City to win an 8th title in a row. Well, signing a 33-year-old, now 34-year-old Harry Kane was a master stroke. 28 goals and 6 assists in 54 games is the exact reason we signed someone like Harry Kane to come in and rotate with Rasmus Højlund, because Højlund is fantastic, but he is still quite young, only 25 years of age. He can now learn off Harry Kane. 23 goals and 3 assists off the bench. That pressure come off him. He was fantastic as well, and now valued at £134 million. Great. We have got 2 strikers that score lots and lots of goals, which surely means this season is going to be a good one. Starting off with the Community Shield. A 1-0 victory against Manchester City is exactly what we want to see. A 95th minute winner by Hassan Ouedraogo. One is ticked off the list. There's 5 to go ahead and win, but can we do it all? We move on to the next one, the Carabao Cup. A 2-1 victory against Newcastle. Buzzing. That's 2 trophies by February. What a start to the season. Neither of them really matter in the grand scheme of things, let's be honest, but it's 2 very good trophies to get ticked off. How about an FA Cup, and how about a final, an extra time victory against Spurs? And we are going to watch the highlights of this because Harry Kane, Thuram and Garnacho are the boys to go ahead and score. And a fantastic performance, mainly when DM, a great ball to Rashford. Rashford flicks it on, a mistake at the back from Lewis, and Harry Kane is there for 1-0. We then had a goal disallowed before we have a free kick from Shaw, whipped in, backstick, Kefren to Ram. A great header, Vicario nowhere to be seen. Spurs weren't done, to be honest. They are going to go ahead and level this game up. Sergej to Van der Ven into Almada to make it 2-1 before a second goal is going to go in as well. And we might start to bottle it. We've won 2 trophies. Surely we're not going to go ahead and win 3. Strike Almada, Pedro with the goal. But there is a certain guy called Harry Kane who's going to silence everyone at Spurs. Garnacho whips it in. No, he doesn't. He scores the goal himself, and it's 3-2. Harry Kane scored earlier. Garnacho is still that guy. I got confused. I do apologise. Garnacho with the goal, and a 3-2 victory. And that's a treble. I can title it now, the fact that we've won a treble. We won the Carabao Cup, we won the Community Shield, won the FA Cup. Nothing else matters, does it? Does it? A 3-2 victory in the Champions League final. 4 trophies in 1 season, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally starting to win stuff. Peter Musa, João Mario scored for Benfica, but Harry Kane, Bilal Penier, and Hassan Ouedraogo, a 89th minute winner. It's almost like the Solskjaer moment, but Ouedraogo, and he scores, and a 3-2 victory. And United win their 2nd Champions League of this sim and the 5th of their history, which is massive. Such a good thing to win. But can we stop the 8-year domination of Manchester City? Yes, we can. 5 trophies in 1 season. The Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Community Shield. What a season. 89 points, dominant season. City then fell off to 67 points. I've got no idea what happened. I don't even care. They're rubbish and I hate them. And goodbye, Manchester City. Maybe they got their deduction this season. 89 points though, 16 clear of 2nd place, Aston Villa. We finally lift the Premier League trophy. And in terms of the stats, we scored the most goals at 105. We were 2nd unconceded with 39 goals. Possession-wise, don't care. Pass completion, don't care. Most shots for. We were an attractive, fun team to watch, and the goals were not just from Rashford and Kane and Højlund. Rashford with 38 goals and 15 assists, 19 and 17 from a 31-year-old Bruno Fernandes at this point, 33-year-old Bruno Fernandes. What a guy, absolutely love him. Ouedraogo 16 and 12, Garnacho 14 and 17, Mount 9 and 13, Mainu 4 and 10, and for the big reveal, 66 games this season. Has played 188 games for Manchester United. And as we head into this progression screen, look at these attributes of all time. The growth on this kid on DM is ridiculous. 4 decisions, 3 composure, 3 anticipation, 2 concentration, 4 leadership, 4 vision, 2 technique, 2 passing, 2 marking, 2 long shots, 2 heading, 2 first touch, 2 dribbling. Use Kobe Mainu, progress him into one of the best midfielders in the world. £100 million value, 2 caps for England now as well. Consistent, loves a big match. I love Kobe Mainu, and this has made me love him even more. If you love these rebuilds as well, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. There's a whole playlist down there. Last week we've done 3 Wonder Kid rebuilds back to back. Brighton, Schalke, Sunderland. Go ahead, check them out, and see you next time.